Denver today. Dak Prescott had 3 more touchdowns last week against Washington. His 4th straight game with at least 3 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions, tied for the 2nd longest streak in NFL history, trailing only Russell Wilson, who did it in 5 straight games with the Seahawks in 2015. Broncos and Cowboys talking about a big game in Denver.
A lot of credit, a lot of respect for them. Just continue to go in there and play my game. Starts with beating the pass rush, and when you've got the receivers that do, having confidence in them to win. Respect the hell out of Surtain and his game, but my confidence in these 2 guys are through the roof. I don't even know who he would follow, right? I mean, it might be easier to just stay on one side of the field for his own rest in that sake. So,
absolutely ready for the challenge. I don't know if he's going to follow, but if he does, I mean, it's going to be a battle. It don't matter to me, honestly. If you do follow, cool. If you don't, cool. Regardless of the situation, I'm going to still get my work.
Lindsey Theory is in Denver for us. Lindsey, how is Dak approaching this Broncos defense?
Green, as Dak Prescott points out, the Broncos lead the league with 34 sacks this season, and their rush and secondary work hand in hand. Dak says they're doing a good job pushing the pocket and playing physical outside. The key for the Cowboys today, Dak knows he needs to get through his progressions, but that he might not get through all of them. The receivers need to win their one-on-one matchups outside, and the Cowboys must keep it to 3rd and manageables. And today is bound to be a blockbuster with the receiver and DB matchups. You guys already mentioned a little bit about it, but it's CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens against Pat Surtain and Riley Moss. Lamb saying about Surtain, we know what he brings, and he knows what we bring. And Lamb knows it won't be just Surtain that provides a battle, but also Moss, who's been really tested this season with teams wanting to avoid Surtain. Lamb saying the other corner, he's pretty big, pretty tall. We see him on film, nice size.
Lindsey, thank you very much. When we were listening to Dak Prescott's quotes, Randy, you reacted. I heard you say, yes, sir, Dak. What was it you liked about the approach Dak is taking into this game?
I mean, when you sit up here and look at the production of both wide receivers, why would you go in the game timid to throw at either side? I mean, Pat Surtain, yes, reigning Defensive Player of the Year, but George Pickens is on a mission. I heard CeeDee Lamb sitting there talking about will Pat Surtain follow?
Right.
This news is for CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, if Pat Surtain would follow, I promise you, I don't think he would follow you with the way that George Pickens has picked up where CeeDee left off. But all of these weapons for the Dallas Cowboys, you know, earlier in the season, I just want to get this out there. Earlier in the season, I'm speaking on the behalf of all football fans. Jerry Jones made a trade with Michael Parsons, and people wanted to take a pie and a tomato and throw it right at Jerry Jones' face. But Jerry Jones, do you get some type of credit of what you put together with bringing in a guy like George Pickens?
Rebuilt the O-line.
And the O-line, and bringing in the running back Javonte Williams.
That's the one.
So, you know, all of this negativity talk at the beginning for the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. Hey, guys, look where they are right now. So I think in a big game like this, I asked Peyton Manning earlier if he had these 2 guys, would he shy away from him? And he said no. That's why I was excited, because that's what I'm seeing from Dak Prescott. He's not going to shy from him. Big game today in Denver.
Yeah, and I don't want him to shy away from Patrick Surtain. I don't want him to be timid. It's more that you're kind of licking your chops. You're salivating at the matchup on the other side of the field. No offense to Riley Moss, but either one of these guys on him, I mean, man, the Denver Broncos play more man than anybody in the NFL. And if they get this matchup of George Pickens on Riley Moss, this guy better have a career day in targets. This is one of the best ball skills in all of the NFL. When you look at his length, look at the ability to get his feet in inbounds.
Yes.
And then you're going against Riley Moss, who is not the biggest, right? This guy continually finds himself in position, but can't make a play on the ball. Time after time again. This is a few weeks ago against the Eagles. We saw it last week at the end of the game against the Giants. It almost cost them the game. And again, the Denver Broncos have a great D-line and a great pass rush. We heard about Dak making quick decisions. Again, it's man. This is a matchup game. I love that matchup, and I'm going there early and often, right? Again.
Alex, to your point, look, I love the matchup of the nickel because I don't think he's any good either.
Yes.
But Riley Moss, to me, there was an old saying, all right? Can you find it? Can you catch it? All right? If you can't, you can't play corner. That's what I see in Riley Moss. He looks the part, he can run, all that stuff, but if you can't find it and you can't catch it, you can't play. I'm throwing at least 10 vertical shots at that on top of that dude's head in this game. The other thing is, too, Moss, you mentioned Javonte Williams.
Yes.
That's the guy. That's what keeps you right there. You can run him in the red zone, and he keeps moving the sticks, and he's also a decent receiver. Remember now, Denver threw him away. So you talk about extra motivation for this young man right here. I'd make him captain, and I'd feed him the football several times in this game. And Sean Payton, I think this is on you, buddy.
Right.
Because right now you're a genius. Everybody says you're the greatest, right? You got the biggest sheet in the league. We see it. Where's J.K. Dobbins? Is he not on the sheet? I don't know what the hell you're doing. Throwing the ball all over the place and looking like you couldn't get a first down against either New York team until the 33 points.
So why you don't like that play sheet?
Because it's a monster play sheet right here, and forget it. And there should be. How about we simplify it a little bit? Give Dobbins the football a little, and to me, I think you'll be fine. But I think it's Brian Schottenheimer. I think Brian Schottenheimer has been the genius that nobody talked about. Quite honestly, we all sat up here and said, I don't think it's a good hire, except one person here. That's right. Right again. What a surprise. This man right here is an outstanding coach. He's done a great job. I can't wait to see it.
All right, so we're looking forward to that one. That's a good one in that middle late afternoon window. Giants and Eagles getting window on Lamar Jackson out for a third straight game with a hamstring. Ravens have lost 4 straight overall. On the flip side, Caleb Williams and the Bears are doing great. They've won 4 in a row after starting 0-2. And the second-year quarterback sat down with our Courtney Cronin.
There was so much that was asked of you every single day to be everything that this team needed. What was the low point for you last season?
Realizing we had 12 losses.
Caleb Williams goes down. I don't know what happened. Didn't look right. Something happened down the stretch here.
You get up and you don't feel as encouraged, you don't feel as motivated, and it's finding ways to, keep going. Those are the most important days.
Where do you go when you have to dig deep for that? Where do you go internally?
I go to inspiration. That's all the greats. The Kobe's, the Jordans, the Michael Phelps, the Steph Curry. What would they do in these moments?
Hey, Caleb, clean communication, okay? Steady Eddie in the huddle here. Make sure they know what they're doing.
You really wanted somebody to come in here, hold you accountable, coach you hard, and Ben said he's going to hold up his end of the bargain there. How has he done that so far?
He's done exactly that. He's came in here and he's been a coach. He's been teaching me. He's been tough on me. He's been hard on me, and it's been great.
What is the 2025 version of Caleb Williams that you want to present to the world?
Yeah, he's himself. Off the field, on the field, he's accurate. He does all the right things, and he wins.
All right, Courtney is with us in Baltimore. Courtney, there's still work to do for Caleb and Ben Johnson. What are they focused on this week?
Greeny, Caleb Williams did not mince words after the Bears win over the Saints. He did not feel that he played well in that game, and it wasn't just the interception that bothered him. It was the fact that he missed open wide receivers about 5 or 6 times. He said it was bad ball placement, missing guys wide open, particularly in the red zone. That has been an emphasis point for Chicago this week. Ben Johnson wanting Caleb Williams to go through his progressions a bit faster when this team gets inside the 20 and leaving with touchdowns over field goals. Now on the other side of this, the Bears were preparing to face Lamar Jackson all week. We find out on Saturday that he is ruled out, and it is Tyler Huntley getting his first start of the season. I just saw Huntley on the exercise bike warming up while throwing passes. I caught up with him momentarily and said, "You're pretty good at multitasking." He smiled and said, "I'm ready." And he's ready to go against a Bears secondary that's without Kyler Gordon and Tyreek Stevenson, 2 starting cornerbacks that are out today due to injury. This Bears defense has a league-leading 16 takeaways. They're going to be trying to extend that number here in Baltimore without 2 of their starting DBs.
All right, Courtney, thank you very much. It's such an interesting game for so many different reasons. And look, we had a lengthy discussion early in the show about the absence of Lamar Jackson, how that impacts the Ravens psychologically and obviously on the field. But frankly, Rex, your take on this all along has been it's more about the Ravens' defense. How did you describe them?
The Swiss cheese defense. And basically what that is, it stinks and there's a lot of holes in it. So that's it. That's when I look at them, and this is not, your dad's defense, Raven defense. Certainly not my defense back in those days. They haven't fixed it. And I don't care. I know they're getting some players back, but those are the same players that were in there when Detroit went up for 250 yards right down their throat in Baltimore. And the reason I mentioned Detroit is you're going to get the same absolute schematics, all right? Ben Johnson came from that family, and they're going to pick up that. They've watched that tape probably a million times, and they're going to try to run it the exact same way. Now, they don't have Penei Sewell, but they do have an outstanding offensive line. We're going to find out what happens.
Well, basically, that's what Ben Johnson's doing, and why shouldn't he? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It worked earlier, and Ben is bringing it back. Rex, this is what you're talking about right here. Lions 2.0. Same shifts, same formations, same motions. Very different players, but still, Ben Johnson has got him right. Motion shift by the tight end over to a tight split over with the wide receivers. You get monster double teams in the middle of it. That's right. There's Penei Sewell. You don't have him, but still, it's very, very similar in Chicago, and you're starting to see this type of tough running inside by the running backs.
Smells.
And is that the Swiss cheese, Rex, you're talking about?
They put that, you get the 46 defense, this defense. That's the Swiss cheese.
And let me show you how Ben's taking this over to Chicago. Does it look familiar, fellas? Does it look familiar? Tight end shift, tight splits by the wide receivers, and what you're going to see is how he built this offensive line priority number one. There's Joe Tooney, brought him over. All right, there's Drew Dahlman, and then, yes, he knows Jonah Jackson because that's him right there. And this is Monangai, the rookie out of Rutgers, going inside, but identical. Ben Johnson, the Detroit run game, it is there. Great job he's doing by bringing this run game to assist his young quarterback in Caleb Williams.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's funny when we look at Ben Johnson, right? He's so innovative. All the shifts and motions, a lot of the tricks plays, the gadgets. And again, so much of this fundamentally does come down to the run game, and he's so good with it. And then for me, the thing that I love for Caleb Williams right here is the play action off of it, right? Taking some of the stuff. It's not all on Caleb's shoulders, right? They lead the league in takeaways on defense. They're one of the best rushing teams in football. And then again, for Caleb as a young quarterback, again, these play action passes are pure progressions, right? There's not a lot of thinking. They declare. It either comes wide open or it doesn't, and you check the ball down, right? And you really stay ahead of the chains. And I like this, and he's really evolved in this. And again, still early in this Ben Johnson regime, but to win 4 games in a row, this team is buying into this formula. And I think they're going to use it today against this Ravens defense.
You're talking about buying into the formula. There's one guy that is really buying in. Started out a little slow, but really had to find his niche within this offense. And I'm talking about the running back DeAndre Swift. You sit up here talking about things looking similar in Detroit. But one thing about DeAndre Swift, he's explosive and he knows how to get through the hole. Kind of reminds me of Jahmyr Gibbs a little bit without so much speed. But I really want to talk about the defense. Yeah, all this talk about the offense because of the Chicago Bears. In the past, I'm not comparing these guys to the monsters of the Midway by no means, but they have playmakers on all 3 levels of their defense. Sweat up front, you have Edmonds in the middle. Miss Cronin talked about this game and their cornerbacks being out with some injuries. But there's one guy she left out, and he's playing in the game. I'm talking about Kevin Byard. Y'all remember Kevin Byard in Tennessee? Yeah. Tied in the National Football League with 4 interceptions. So one thing about it, tips and overthrows, whatever Hot Rod Hundley sees today, man, he cannot come lazy over the middle. But I like what I'm seeing out of this Chicago Bears defense.
And quickly, let me circle it back to that man. That's Snoop Hundley. He'll get the start today. Again, all the confusion that was created about Lamar Jackson, who will not play. The Ravens, while not by as many points, remain the favorites in this game. Alex, do you believe Snoop Hundley can beat Chicago today and keep the Ravens season afloat?
Yeah, to Rex's point, he's not going to do it by himself, right? Like, this defense has to get a lot better. They had the bye week. Did they make any changes? But I think the thing that Snoop gives them in the run game offensively is like, listen, they can do some of this QB-driven run game. They can do some of the RBO. This guy's a great runner himself. He can keep some of these things. That was eliminated from the playbook with Cooper Rush. I think you will see some of that back in today with him in there. But again, he's also got to take care of the football. You said it. The Bears leading the NFL in takeaways. He can't do that today if they have a chance to win.
That's most important for me. I called him Hot Rod Hundley, but that's Snoop Hundley. One thing that is definitely important to me that has stood out over the last couple of weeks, I just talked about this defense. They flow very fast and they get interceptions and takeaways. So this guy right here, I want to see if he looks like Lamar Jackson back there.
For the Ravens, this is your season, right? In the next 5 days. Right? You get what a boost it would be to win without Lamar today and show that, first of all, you can win without Lamar, and then all of a sudden, apparently you may have him back on a Thursday night versus Miami. 2 wins in 5 days would be season changing.
Yes,
it would be. But I mean, it is crazy that you sit back there and we haven't said, we're talking about, Baltimore and all that in the running game. And we're talking about Chicago's run game. How the hell are we not talking about Derrick Henry? That's the issue. Forget the backup quarterback. I don't care.